This is Drew with thepodcastingstore.com, your one-stop shop for all things podcasting and remote learning.
Well, greetings and thank you so much for watching this video. Just getting over a cold where I kind of lost my voice, so in my head I sound pretty awful, but it seems to be coming across okay on the video, so I'm going to continue with it because we have a really important project that has to be done here pretty quickly, and the CBA, Colorado Bandmasters Association, finals are coming up this weekend, and we have some space on the Scoreboard where we can advertise our various brands, and I've created one video already for the podcasting store that shows all the different brands that we represent and kind of putting them together with us, and I'm going to create one for Boomer and one for Drums West. So I wanted to walk you through the process of how I do that, and I'll preface with forgive me, I'm going to be drinking and maybe grabbing lozenges and all that kind of stuff that I normally wouldn't do because I'm trying to be able to keep talking. I'm super excited that I can talk again today. Yesterday was awful. So anyway, here is the one that I've created for the podcasting store, and so you can hear it's got a drum beat underneath and it says the podcasting store and it's purple. And then it says we are, and it's got all the logos, and they're coming in from side to side. And the thing I want you to notice about that too is that as the logos come across, they never cover over the podcasting store logo. I want to make sure that that stays prominent. And then we've got the web address at the bottom. But the concept behind this video is there's no talking, there's no people, there's no anything. It's just visual, and it's got drum beats, and that's it. And then it ends with podcasting and remote learning. Because those are the things that I want people to take away from it, is that we're all about podcasting and remote learning. So in order to create the Boomer video, I'll show you what we're going to do. Come over here to Shotcut, and then we open File, and we've got our, actually let's start here. So we'll create an audio track because that is fundamentally what we've got. So Control U, or I just go in that way. So we open File, go back into TBS, CBA, Boomer, and I've already got the beats done. Yeah, it's loud. I've already got that done in an MP4 file. I'm not going to walk through the process. I did all that in Audacity already, so I've already got the components put together. I just want to show you how I'm going to combine them into the final product. I'm going to zoom the project ever so slightly because it's only 30 seconds long, and that's by design. It's meant to be really short and up on a football scoreboard. So now we're going to add a bunch of tracks. I've got 8 different logos that I need to add, plus I need the base color, plus I need the Boomer logo, and then the words. So I really need 10 tracks in total. So if I Control I, and I create 10 different tracks, and I could always add these later. It's not a big deal. I added an 11th one, whatever. It doesn't hurt to have an extra. But the thing to remember, and I'm going to resize this so I can see everything, is whatever's on top will always be visible and whatever's on bottom will always be covered, audio aside, because audio is audio. So the base layer of what I want here is actually just a red square. Now for the podcasting store, I used purple because that's the color I've chosen for that. So for Boomer, it's red. So I'm going to put that down here on video track number 1. Extend that all the way across so that it fills the entire thing. And then what I need to do is come in and filter. I need to resize this so it fills up the entire screen. Right now it's just a square, and I want it to fill up this entire space right here. So size, position, and rotate. And then I can just come over here and do probably like 500%. Yeah, that fills up everything nicely. I don't have to drag or reposition or resize it. So then the next thing I'm going to do here, as you saw on the one that I made for the podcasting store, there was some kind of blank space at the beginning and the end. And that was, again, by design. I want 5 seconds at the beginning. And that's actually pretty good right there. So then I split the track there. And then I want 5 seconds at the end. So that way I can isolate the logo and kind of give you something that eases you in and then brings you out of it again. Now, this is 32 seconds long, which means 32 minus 5 is 27. So I want to go back to 27 seconds and create my other split in the track, and you'll see why in a second. So I move the player head, and then I split right there. So then the next thing I want to do is put the Boomer logo on it, because that's going to be on top of everything, and that's going to determine how everything else sizes up. And so that's going to go on my very top track, because I always want that visible. So I'm going to open File, come up to the way I have this stored is under Pictures, Logos, and of course you can organize your files however you want to. And I'll put it, even though I think I only need 10 tracks, I'll put it up on track 11 just because. And then I grab it and extend it all the way across. Now, obviously that's too big right now to fit everything else around it. So again, position, size, position, and rotate. So I think I'll try that at 50%, see what that looks like. That might be about right. Um, yeah, actually, that is probably about right. Sorry, I'm just the creative process. Now you're getting to see behind the curtain. Now I want to add the website across the bottom as well. And to do that, I'm just going to add a simple text. And I always like to do it like this, because then when you put the capitals in there, then you can actually read the word. I'm going to change the font. I don't remember which font we typically use. For some strange reason, I think it might be... forget it. Verdana's fine. So now that's going to be visible the entire time because that's linked on with the same video source as the logo, which is on top. Very important, because then as I put other stuff on top of this, I want to be able to see that as a prominent feature, because again, this is an advertisement. It's going up on a football scoreboard. We want it to be prominent. So now I need to start adding in my logos. So I'm going to move the player head back here and open file. And now we come into my videos. Oops. Kind of backwards into this. So here are all my various and sundry manufacturer logos right here. I'm going to grab them in no particular order. So we'll grab Yamaha. So I'll pull that down here. And actually, we're going to put them all back here. And again, you'll see why in a minute. So now we've got the Yamaha logo, and again, it's prominent, it's front and center, and it's covered over by the Boomer logo, which is what I want, but I need to resize that. And I want these logos coming in from top, bottom, middle, side, all that kind of great stuff. So I come in with my filter, size, position, and rotate. And I come into my preset, and this one, let's see, I'm probably going to put it in the over here in the bottom left. So I want it to slide in from the right or from the top. I'll do this one from the top just because. And then we fill, and then I can resize it up here. And this is going to be like a jigsaw puzzle coming together. So I'll put it right there. Now remember, I've got 8 logos to fit in, so this is going to be a bit of a process. So open file, and the next one we grab, let's just do these in reverse alphabetical order, will be Shires. So I'll pull that down here. And again, same problem. It's filling up the entire screen, but no worries. So we want this one. I guess we'll have that one come down from the top. So preset, slide in from top. And then again, you want to fill, not fit, otherwise it won't resize when you do this. Oh, I put it on top of the Yamaha one, didn't I? That's okay. I didn't mean to do that. So I have to redo the Yamaha one. See, this is how you know that this is actually live, or at least live on tape, is because I screw up and I just own it. All right, so we'll redo the Yamaha one. Again, same process that we just did. So make sure, and that's actually a really good lesson. If you overwrite, it's really going to overwrite whatever was on there. So when I dumped the Shires logo onto the wrong track, it covered over the Yamaha logo and obliterated it, which means I have to redo it because it's gone. Or I could Control Z and back out of it, but in this case, I'm not that far into the project. It's not a big deal. That will actually also be a really good lesson as well once I do this. To save frequently. Shotcut can be a little flaky at times, and you lose your work. And when that happens, that really sucks. And I don't like the consternation and gnashing of teeth, and I really don't like redoing stuff. So we'll resize the Yamaha logo. That's probably about right. And then I'll move the Shires over, because as I look at it, I'm like, I want it over a little further. And again, this is part of the artistic process. So I'm going to do a save. It's going to ask me to save as video, CBA, Boomer. Done. So I'm going to save frequently, because if this craps out on me, then I can go back to my last save point. It has a lot of automatic save points as well. I don't want to rely on that if I don't have to, because you never know where it's going to have saved. So lather, rinse, repeat here. So we got the Shires, so we'll grab the Cannonball logo. And I'm going to try to alternate these left and right just because that's easier to keep track of. So again, we're going to resize this, and I'll come in from the right on this one. And again, select fill, because otherwise it won't resize. But if you remember the podcasting store video, you realize there was one important thing I didn't do yet, which I need to do. And that was to put some text on here. I'm going to put this on the red square side of things. So yeah, I'm just remembering now, again, creative process. And I'm going to put it in this middle part right here because that's where I want the text to be. So text simple, and I want it to say, we are. And then I'm going to put this at the top. And then I need to resize that up a little bit. Because ideally, I'm going to be putting some other stuff around it. What happens if I go 0? Yeah, that's not good. If I go 0 there, that is what I wanted. So I want that towards the middle. So that's going to be probably about 600. Yeah, closer to 400. There we go. Okay, so that's centered there. And then I want position 0 on that. Perfect. All right, so now I'm going to put all my logos around that and kind of fill everything in like a puzzle. So then I think Cannonball's good enough. We shall find out as I fit everything else in. Jupiter, put that one down here. And so again, these are all logos of brands that we carry. And so the idea behind this is we want to make sure that we are associated with all of these brands because we're proud of them. I mean, that's why we carry all this stuff. And we want people to know that this is who we are and this is what we do. So we'll put the Jupiter up there. Not my favorite with the red background, but you know, it's the way that it is. The next one, peak. And yes, it's a lot of brands and it's a lot of stuff, but that's also kind of the theory behind it is we want to show the abundance of what we do. Because we do a lot of stuff, we carry a lot of stuff. And I want to make sure people know that. Now, peak's going to go over to the left, so I think I'm going to bring this one in from the right. And again, there's no exact science to any of this. It's just kind of whatever artistic decisions. Gosh, I'm channeling Bob Ross. And no, I don't have any happy little trees. I just have happy little logos. And again, the peak doesn't necessarily telegraph terribly well against the red background, but it's their logo, it's our color, it's what we're working with. Next, gets in. That one should look really good against this. Oops, make sure I get that lined up. If that isn't lined up properly, it's going to bleed over here, and that is exactly what I don't want. So that's the other reason why I'm kind of stacking these all at the end, and then I'll show you how I'm going to get them all to come in at different intervals. I think you kind of get the concept already, but in case you don't, so Getson's going to be over to the right. We'll have that come in from the bottom. And fill. That's not far to go out. Let me just put Getson down here. And again, this is where the artisticness is going to come in because spoiler alert, I'm going to swap Getson and Shires because it's just going to fit better with the Boomer logo. So I go back down to Shires. So I got to select the source down here and then I can move it. I can't grab it directly from up here on the project. It doesn't work that way. Make sure this is all sized up properly. Good. Next. And again, I may futz with all this anyway. It's just the direction everything's going in right now. Eastman. Oops. Control Z because I caught that in time. So, see, my Eastman source does not exist up here anymore. Not a problem. If I click back over here to source, it's right there. So make sure I get it on the correct track, which I did that time. And so size, position, rotate. I'm going to bring that in from the top. Fill. And since you know I want to put it on the left, and you already know it's not going to fit where I want it, actually, I really do want to bring that from the bottom, don't I? Because if you can kind of see where I'm going with this, I'm actually going to put Eastman all the way up here. I'm going to move Peak down next to Cannonball. So in order to do that, come back down here, find my Peak logo, which is right there. Grab it, put it right there. That actually looks fairly good. I'm going to size it down just a skosh. Yes, skosh is a technical term. Perfect. And then, once again, spoiler alert, I already know I'm going to do this because I saw the last logo. I'm going to resize my Getson down a little bit. I'm going to bring my Jupiter next to it. Actually, maybe move Getson over here. Because I saw that my last logo, which is D'Addario, is also a rectangle. And I'm going to put that on top of the Getson and Jupiter right there. And that one I'm definitely going to put in from the left, because I don't think I've done enough from the left yet. So resize that, preset, slide it from left, fill, drag that. Oops, a little too far. Perfect. All right, so I like the way that that's all looking now. So that's what my final scene is going to look like before it cuts out. And so my cut scene on that is going to be over here. So we're beyond, so again, where I created that split in the track. So I'm going to, on my red square, put my tagline. And so for Podcasting Store, it's podcasting or remote learning. For Boomer, it's going to be band and orchestra. So I'm going to do text, simple. And again, I didn't pick anything other than the Verdana, so I'm going to stick with that. Vertical fit to the top. And that actually looks fairly decent. Squish it just a little bit. I don't want it to look completely odd. And I come over here because I want that centered. So then I can do that. Yeah, I can pretty well eyeball that. So that's going to be my final tagline as everything outros. So now to get that stacked effect on everything, this is going to be super cool. Now you see that looks really weird and messy because everything would be coming in all at once. Well, here, I'll play it for you, you'll say. So the way it is right now, everything's going to come in simultaneously. It's lagging because of my proxy settings. My computer's doing weird things today. That's fine, not a big deal. So I'll grab my Yamaha logo and I will pull it all the way to where I have my 5 seconds. And I grab it and stretch it. So that's going to have a cascading effect. In Shires, I'll do just a couple seconds after that. And I have the magnet on, so that's going to help snap it right to where there was the latest break, which is a really good thing. So that is very helpful with this when you're trying to line up stuff. So move that one in here. Get my Jupiter logo. So again, the whole idea behind this is it's solving the problem of how do you make a statement without saying anything. Because this is going to be at a marching band competition. and it's just going to be up on the scoreboard, and everyone's going to be used to hearing all the drum sounds and all that all day, which is fine. We're joining in that conversation. But we want to do something that will get attention, and the short form of it, just being 30 seconds, means it can run a lot. And that's kind of what we're hoping for, is that they're able to run all of these ads kind of throughout the day at various intervals and give us some exposure on here, because we're very proud to be supporting what CBA is doing. I mean, I'm thrilled that there is marching band, that there's marching band competitions, that any of this stuff is happening, because last year it didn't. So save. Always remember to do that. So let's see if the computer lag is going to get us, or if we can actually see what the preview of this is going to look like. So see how that's stopping at all the various cuts. So this is what our full ad would look like, assuming it doesn't lag. Let's see. You get the idea. It's lagging up on me something fierce. So what I'm going to do is export it, and then we'll try to play that clip. So let's see, export YouTube quality on that. So we'll export file, and then we want that to be the Boomer ad. So we'll do Boomer CBA ad MP4. We'll see how long that takes to export. But in the meantime, that is what we got here. So I'm going to tag that on to the end of this video so that way you can see what it is, or I'll reference the link in it. But that is the thought and the theory behind creating this scoreboard ad, I guess we'll call it, which has a drum track underneath and then visuals that are kind of coming in from all directions and trying to make a statement. So hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I really enjoy making this stuff and I like having people watch it. And we'll catch you next time.
If you're facing a unique problem with podcasting or remote learning, we can help. Reach out to us at thepodcastingstore.com and we'll see what solutions we can find for you. And if you like what you hear, do me a favor and tell a friend. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our e-newsletter, and you'll never miss another podcast or video again. This is Drew with thepodcastingstore.com. Thank you for listening.